PowerTap has been in the power meter business for an awfully long time. Back in the days before power meters were commonplace like they almost are now, you had a choice of a really expensive SRM crank-based power meter, which most of the pros favoured at the time, or a relatively affordable hub-based power meter, and a lot of amateur cyclists really leaned towards the PowerTap hub at the time. Fast forward many years and the company was one of the first to launch a power meter pedal. There are now quite a few choices of power meter pedals. The company launched the P1, its first power meter pedal, a few years ago, and they now have launched the P2, which I have here in this box. They actually launched end of last year, so it took me a few months to get my hands on them, but like most things, hopefully the wait was worth it. So let's take them out of the box and have a closer look then. Oh, I need something to cut. I broke open my finger. There we go, that wasn't so difficult. Inside the box then we have a manual and some stickers, the cleats and the two pedals in question, and some batteries and washers. Put that on one side. So the first thing to note is that they are now silver. The original P1 was black, and they look very similar, and indeed they are based on the same design, the same technology as the original P1. So it's a case of evolution rather than a revolution. There's nothing radical going on here. What they have done though is made them lighter. They claimed 30 to 40 grams lighter than the previous pedals, so they're now coming in at 400 grams. I'll put them on the scales in a moment to see what they actually weigh. And they've done that by machining away a lot of the excess material around the body there. But they're still quite a bulky design compared to some of the slimmer power meter pedals on the market. I don't personally mind the look of them, but some people do get quite hung up on the appearance of them. But you know, pedals, you don't see them when you're cycling because they're underneath your shoes, so it doesn't matter. But they are lighter. Let's put on the scales as mentioned, see what they actually weigh. So that's one pedal, 194 grams, and both of them are 388. Now we must include the batteries in packaging to add a bit more. So there we go, 403 grams in total. They claimed 400 grams, so 403, 3 grams over. That's not so bad, that's tolerable within the usual discrepancies you get with weight claims. So they're lighter, but what else is new? Well, they still use the same AAA lithium ion batteries, which go underneath this gold plug here, and that's the battery unit there, which is alongside the axle and contributes to that slight bulge there. Now they have increased the battery life from 60 hours of the previous P1 up to 80 hours of the new P2, so quite a decent improvement. And they've done that by just improving the electronics inside and just reducing that drain on the battery. Also, another point about these batteries worth adding is that you can't get these lithium ion AAA batteries that easy from your local shop, at least in my experience, so you have to order them online, but you buy them in bulk, so you've got plenty of batteries when you need to replace them. Inside are all the same electronics and sensors as previously, so it should be as reliable and as accurate as the previous P1 pedals, and the same ANT Plus and Bluetooth for connecting to a compatible smartphone app or a computer like a Garmin or Wahoo for getting the data out of each pedal into a computer. And it goes without saying that they are a dual-sided power meter, so individual left and right power measuring if you want your full kind of suite of power measuring and analytic tools. They offer left and right. For the cleats, they're still using the same Look Keo type of cleats, so the 3-bolt cleat design. I've heard that you can use a Look Keo cleat with no problem. Some people say they don't work quite as well as these ones, which are slightly modified, but they're the same as the previous ones. And on the pedal you can see you have adjustable tension on the spring at the back, so you can tighten it up if you want to be really locked into the pedals, or loosen it up if you want an easier removal of your foot from the pedals there. So same cleat, same batteries, get washers for just moving the axle away from the cranks on your bike, and as before you have the same 8mm Allen key for putting them onto the bike, and there's no other calibration or special tools needed. 8mm Allen key, whack them on the cranks, 0 offset your computer or chosen app, and you are ready to ride. It's that easy, really is that easy to get on and ride with these pedals. So the price is reduced compared to the previous P1s when they launched. They were about £1,000 when they launched a couple of years ago. These are now costing £799.99 here in the UK. So that shows how the price of power meters is slowly but surely coming down and making owning a power meter much more accessible. And the biggest rival for these are probably the Garmin Vector 3s, which are costing, I think, about £850. So more or less the same price, especially if you factor in the usual discounts you can get when you shop around as well. The main benefit of the Garmin Vector 3s over these are their slightly more compact and sleeker appearance and the improved battery life. But Garmin have had their quite public issues with software, firmware issues and reliability and so on. I used a set of the previous P1s from the day they were launched. I went to a launch in Mallorca and I've been riding them for a couple of years since. The best thing about power meter pedals for me personally is the fact that I'm riding different bikes all the time, and with these pedals I can easily swap them from one bike to another bike with no tools or calibration required. Put them on one bike when I'm testing it and I've got a power meter all the time, and that's a real key benefit. So you have a lot of bikes or you're doing a lot of traveling and you want to take your pedal with you, you can take your pedal with you and you always have power. So if you're training and ride lots of different bikes and you want power on each bike without an expensive power meter crankset on each bike, this is a really good option. And I found the original P1s to be really reliable, had no issues at all. The only real issue was getting hold of the AAA lithium ion batteries, but once you find a good source online, you buy in bulk, that's not a problem at all. But in terms of reliability, durability, they're fine really, had no problems. I would have liked if PowerTap had improved the appearance, taken this opportunity to make them even sleeker and better looking. I mean, I'm not that worried about how they look, but they could have made them a bit lighter, a bit smarter, a bit more modern looking really. I think they had an opportunity there to do that, but I guess they didn't. But the small improvements, the incremental weight loss, the improved battery life, the silver looks good compared to the black, and that proven PowerTap reliability is all there. So they are still a really good choice. So that's my quick first look, unboxing of the new PowerTap P2 power meter pedals, available now in shops and costing £800 with improved battery life and slightly lower weight and a few other small but important improvements. The power meter market now is a really competitive and price driven market as well, so there are lots of choices for pedals and cranks and other ways of measuring power. So it's a really exciting place at the moment if you want a power meter, and it really is a biased market. There's plenty of choice and you can buy cheaper options than these, but you can still spend a lot more money as well. So they're definitely a good choice, and I would definitely tune in for my full review on these soon. Check out road.cc for a full review on them soon. But I think that's all for now. I'm going to go off and ride them and test them, see what we're about, and I will see you all again next time. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoy watching it and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you all again next time.